King Harald V of Norway, who was Europe's oldest reigning monarch, has passed away at the age of 89, ending a remarkable life. Born on the 21st of February 1937, he was the third child but only son of King Olav V, then the Crown Prince and previously known as Prince Karl of Denmark, and his cousin and wife Princess Marta of Sweden, with his two older sisters being Princess Ragnhild and Princess Astrid. He was also a great-great-grandson of Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom and a great-grandson of Edward VII through his daughter Maud, making him Elizabeth II's second cousin. Prince Harald spent part of his childhood in exile in his mother's homeland, though much more of it in the US after World War II forced the family to split up and flee Norway in 1940 as the country was occupied by the Nazis. While Harald, his mother and sisters were in the States, his father and grandfather were largely in England. Despite this time in America, when he spoke English, I actually heard a slight English accent rather than an American one, particularly in his non-rhotic R's. I'll explain why I think that happened in a minute. The royals were able to return to Norway in 1945. Tragically, his mother, Princess Marta, died in 1954, and 3 years later her son became the Crown Prince in 1957 when his grandfather, King Haakon VII, died, and his own father ascended to the throne. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing any of these names correctly, by the way, I don't speak any Norwegian. He entered Oxford University from 1960 to 1962, thus the source of his English accent when speaking that language, I think, and studied history, economics and politics. He married Sonja Haraldsson in 1968, don't you just love that her maiden name included his own name, and theirs was a love story worthy of a Hollywood movie. They had been in a relationship for 9 years at that point, unable to marry due to objections from Harald's father over Sonja's non-royal status. The then Crown Prince wouldn't give her up though, eventually putting his foot right down and saying that he'd never marry at all if he couldn't marry her. This would have ended the Norwegian royal line, as at that time only boys could inherit the crown and there were no other collateral heirs, the independent Norwegian monarchy having only been restored by a referendum in 1905 after the country separated from Sweden. His determination to wed the woman he loved is just incredible, I think, and greatly helped to modernise the royal family. The couple had 2 children, Princess Marta Louise in 1971 and Prince, now King, Haakon in 1973. Having already served as regent for his ailing father, Harald became king on the 17th of January 1991 after Olav's death, the first king of Norway to have been born in the country since the 14th century, and he had a broadly successful and popular reign. He helped to bring his people together in the face of such tragedies and difficulties as the 22nd of July 2011 terrorist attacks at a summer camp and in Oslo, for instance, which killed 77 people. In a televised address soon after, he said through a breaking voice that, "I can only imagine the depth of your pain. As king of this nation, I feel for each and every one of you." He was also moved to tears during a memorial service for the victims, as was Queen Sonja. He helped to steer the country through the COVID-19 pandemic, sailed for Norway 3 times in the Olympics, and even became the only reigning monarch to ever go to Antarctica, which he visited in 2015. He showed his modernising tendencies and desire for unity and inclusivity further in 2016, when he gave a speech in which he said that his citizens were from Afghanistan, Pakistan and Poland, from Sweden, Somalia and Syria, that they believe in God, Allah, the universe and nothing, and they are girls who love girls, boys who love boys, and girls and boys who love each other. When his Silver Jubilee occurred in 2016, he held a skiing party outside the palace, which I've seen footage of, and it looked like great fun. His time on the throne was marked by difficulties with his children, however, which have damaged the Norwegian royal family's overall popularity and brought about scandals which rival and perhaps even surpass those that the British royals have endured in the past decade. Princess Marta Louise is a controversial figure who claims to be a clairvoyant, among other supernatural powers, and who has also been accused of commercialising her royal title and connections. Her first marriage made King Harald a grandfather to 3 granddaughters before its breakdown, and her second is to an American self-styled shaman called Durek Verrett, who has been described as a con artist who promotes crackpot conspiracy theories. Their antics, including a Netflix documentary in which they said that the King and Queen didn't know what racism was, caused considerable embarrassment for Harald and Sonja, and there have been widespread calls for the princess to be stripped of her title, which has already been downgraded from Royal Highness to Highness. Prince Haakon, meanwhile, married Mette-Marit Høiby in 2001, with whom he has a daughter and son, and Princess Ingrid can inherit the throne after the law banning a queen regnant was changed in 1990 for all children born after that date. Crown Princess Mette-Marit was already controversial for having a son, Marius Borg Høiby, from a former relationship, and what I'm going to call a less than wholesome life story that involved things YouTube doesn't like us to talk about. But it was her later friendship with disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, even years after his convictions, and the conviction for very serious offences against women of her son Marius, that most seriously damaged the royal family's reputation at home and abroad, something which is likely to continue now that she is the Queen Consort. King Harald mostly avoided commenting on his daughter-in-law's links to Epstein or on the case involving her son, saying of Marius that the matter is now in the hands of the justice system and the trial is scheduled. We will take things as they come. However, he also expressed solidarity with all those affected by the, at that stage, still alleged crimes. The dual scandals, which occurred alongside his own deteriorating health and that of the Crown Princess, who required a lung transplant in 2026, made the final years of his reign much more difficult, and in many ways echo the problems the British royal family have had with the former Prince Andrew. A recent poll in the Aftenposten newspaper noted that support for the family had fallen sharply from 72% in 2024 to 54% in 2026. Harald remained popular though, still recording approval ratings of 9.2 out of 10 in early 2026, while his daughter-in-law languished at 3.7. The King's health problems included bladder cancer in 2003 and heart surgery in 2005 and 2020, as well as various other ailments, some more serious than others. He had a pacemaker fitted in 2024, for instance. Such illnesses led his son to act as regent for him 5 times between 2003 and 2026, but Harald always ruled any talk of abdication out, insisting that his oath as king was for life. On the 17th of August 2026, he was admitted to Oslo University Hospital for treatment related to his haemolytic anaemia, a blood disorder, and on the 27th of August, the royal palace announced that his condition was extremely serious, leading the royal family to cancel engagements and rush to his bedside, while well-wishers laid flowers at the palace gates, sensing what was about to happen. The following morning, it was announced that the king had passed away. The palace's statement read, "It is with deep grief that we announce that His Majesty King Harald has passed away. King Harald died peacefully at Oslo University Hospital Friday the 28th of August at 6:35 a.m. Condolences were sent by, among others, King Charles III upon the loss of his dear cousin, as well as from King Carl XVI Gustaf of Sweden, who remembered Harald as a good friend to me, my family and to Sweden. I'd also like to take this opportunity to extend my own condolences to the people of Norway on the loss of their beloved monarch." Flags have been lowered to half-mast across the country, a period of national mourning was declared to lead up to his funeral, and church bells rang at midday after his death. With his son, now King Haakon VIII, and his granddaughter Ingrid, the Crown Princess, the Norwegian royal family have entered a new chapter in their history. Thank you for listening to this special bonus video. Please remember to check out my other online platforms on patreon.com/historycalling, Instagram, my Amazon storefront, and my website historycallingofficial.com, as well as my book Find Your Irish Ancestors Online. All are linked in this video's YouTube description box and pinned comment. Let me know below what you think the future might hold for the Norwegian royals without Harald at the helm. And until next time all, keep learning.